You're watching YouViewMedia.
The greatest fear that I've ever overcome in my life is going to this place and deciding to run toward the fire as opposed to away from it, because there were people in the fire. Not literally, almost literally. They were living in it and around it. It wasn't consuming them, but in my mind, I see beautiful little kids, and I see families, and I see fire, and I see trash, and I see broken glass, and I see syringes and needles, and I see all kinds of dead carcasses of things, and I see people. I do not think that they go together. And this is a trash dump community, not too far from here. This is in Managua, Nicaragua. And I went there in 2005 as a musician to do what I'm not afraid of. Play some music, raise some funds, work at an orphanage. It'll all work out fine. And then a couple days later, I was brought to this trash dump. It scared me to no end. All I did is roll up the windows in the taxi and try to sort of not see it all, and just look straight ahead and hope that I was going to go in and leave very, very quickly. I have a very strong belief that there is a God, and that He's the one that put dreams in us. I have a strong belief that there is a God who acts like a dad, that just flat out loves us more than anything out there. And I believe in something called divine appointments. I believe that every now and then you end up in a place where you can feel these two roads, and you know one is for you, but you don't have the courage to go in that direction. And then there's this one that just looks easy, and you just want to go down that road to get away from the one that has that tension and that fear in it. And that day when I was in the taxi and we drove into the center of the trash dump, man, I took some pictures, I cried some tears, I said a few prayers, I started journaling some lyrics for a song, and I also was like, get me out of here. And then I went back and did the same thing. I got afraid and I left, but then I went back, and I knew that I had to keep going right at it, right at that fear, feeling like there was going to be something beautiful that would come out of it. That was in 2005. Now in 2011, I've had the privilege of calling a trash dump community in a country in Central America home, because the families there love me so much that they gave me their kids, they gave me their food, they gave me the best chair, they gave me everything they had. They live in a trash dump. They live in a trash dump. They go to sleep in it, and they wake up in it, and they work in it, and they celebrate birthdays in it, and they bury their own in it, and they bring babies to life in it. Everything you can imagine in a trash dump that 6 months out of the year is on fire. And so they're living in smoke every day. The best day is a day in smoke, filtering through trash, trying to find something that you could sell or recycle, or nail up a piece of cardboard where there's a hole in the wall in your house. This little shantytown community. And then the other 6 months of the year, it's nothing but rain. So now you've got all of the trash that's coming into your home. It's just seeping in everywhere, kind of a chemical soup. In that place, I learned about peace. In that place, I believe God brought me to a trash dump to fix me. When I first got there, I was like, oh man, I gotta fix everything. I gotta save these people. I gotta put out that fire. I gotta call my friends who can do Habitat for Humanity. We're gonna build all these homes. I got friends who have a hospital. I've got friends who write for a newspaper. I know some friends that could film this. I missed everything. All I wanted to do was fix this place. And God brought me to it to fix me, because there was no peace in me when I was at the height of my career in dispatch. So I'm in a rock band, I'm selling lots of tickets, people are coming and clapping along and singing along. I'm living my dream, I'm traveling all over the world. I was miserable inside. I was so exhausted, so burned out, and there was no peace. I know every single one of you guys in this room has experienced something that you were really hoping for, or you received a gift, or some sort of a dream where you got there and you were ready for this big moment, and you're like, oh my gosh, what is the deal? It doesn't feel like I thought it was going to. There's a little dissonance. There's something. There's not peace for some reason. Well, that was me in 2005. I get brought into a trash dump where I'm no longer thinking about my cell phone and voicemails. I'm no longer thinking about my laptop and emails. I'm not thinking about texting people. I am so completely present in that moment. It is just me and people that are laughing, smiling, and singing, living in hell. I'm looking at people living in hell who are happy and content, and I come in as a successful rock star, and I am miserable. And I discover that it's in me, all of the stuff that has to happen. 2006, 2007, 2008. I go every month to this community. 10 to 12 times a year I go there. And every time I went, I discovered more and more that it was about God fixing me through these ones. To get me into a place where I could feel peace about my dream, music. Why do I play music? God, I've totally forgotten. I've spent 7 years living in a van, touring around the country, playing gigs. And people are saying, you're almost there? Where the heck is there? I don't want to drive another mile. I don't want to play another concert. I don't want to do anything because people have this distant sense of you've almost made it. Someday you'll make it. I was so angry. I didn't even know what this was for. And then I meet a handful of kids and their families in a trash dump, and I don't speak Spanish, so what do? Grab my guitar. Kind of looking around. Okay, I don't speak Spanish. I wonder how I can connect with everybody. Start to play a little bit. Start to dance, start to clap, and everyone starts coming toward me. And they start dancing and clapping and even singing along. All of a sudden I realized, you know what, maybe I am prepared to be here. I can at least play a guitar. So that's what I did. I played guitar for the kids and for the families. And as I did that, I started to love playing guitar again. In the same year I played Madison Square Garden. It was sold out. 20,000 people, completely in a 360, all the way around. And then less than 2 months later, I played in the trash dump in Nicaragua. Where do you think the power was? Where would you guys guess the peace was? Where would you guess that I looked at my guitar and I was like, I cannot believe that I got to do this? Madison Square Garden was magical. It was incredible. But for most of the people there, it was a night of entertainment. In a world that we live in, most of us, where it's filled with more entertainment than we know what to do with. Versus going to Nicaragua into a trash dump where I don't think people had ever even heard amplified music. And I start playing a guitar and singing there, and they're closing their eyes, and I can see all of their burdens coming off of them. And then one story that I have to share with you is that I met a girl named Iliana on one of my first trips into the dump where I actually got out of the car. My friend Jonathan Olinger, who's filming right now, he was in the seat right next to me, and the two of us were in Nicaragua thinking, there's got to be something we could do here. And this girl comes up and knocks on the window and smiles. Jonathan has a couple minutes left in his camera, and he's trying to get it up as quickly as he can to film her. And I'm trying to speak in what little Spanish I know and asking her who she is. And she's pointing at her bike and saying, I got a new bike. And it's a bike that she found in the dump. And she's so happy, she's so lit up. And then she's pointing behind her and saying, you guys have to come over and see our new house. And she's pointing at cardboard that's been taped together with some tin on top. In her heart and in her mind, she had a brand new bike and a brand new house, and she wanted to share it with me, a total stranger. And she grabbed my hand, and I mean, like, I followed her out of the taxi and into her world, and I'll never be the same because of it, because of that one interaction. We have to start thinking here and feeling here differently than we do about the material possessions that we have. For those of you that your car isn't the car that you wanted, or your hair doesn't look the way you wanted your hair to look, or your house isn't big enough, or whatever it is, stop and think about how many people in this world are waking up and saying, "Do you like my new bike?" And it's a bike that we threw out. "And do you like my new house?" And it's duct taped together trash that we already discarded, saying there's no value in this. Iliana could smile and convince me 100% that that was a new bike, and it was. And I've seen my nephew, who I love him to no end, and I would do anything for him. I've seen him on Christmas morning open up a brand new gift, and it's not exactly what he wanted, and he cries. Now, no fault to him. Absolutely no fault to him. But how could something brand new in a very big home underneath a Christmas tree on a day that's all about gifts cause one child to cry? And how in a trash dump in the middle of Central America can a girl find a bike in a trash dump and say, "It's brand new, isn't it amazing? You gotta see it." Do you understand in that how peace is here, not out here? Iliana, God bless her, she had peace about what she had. And so everything was right in her world. Everything was right. Iliana, the little girl who lived in La Chureca, and I met in 2005, she died a year and a half ago. Or no, she died actually 6 months ago, I'm sorry. And her sister Mercedes died a year and a half ago. Without Iliana and Mercedes deciding it, they were born into poverty level where living in trash was okay. That was as good as it could be for them. Their parents tried to love them well, but their parents every day were trying to figure out how to feed and take care of 14 kids. And their mom had her first baby at 14. And then 2 when she was 15, she miscarried a number. I mean, just burden after burden, hardship after hardship, no peace. Her parents decided when their daughters were 8, 9, and 10 that it was more important for their family to have food and survive than it was to think about the emotional, physical, and spiritual health of their girls. So they let their girls be prostituted for a period of months, and the truck drivers that came in were the clients. And so, long story short, Mercedes and Iliana and their sister Anjuri, who is still alive, all contracted HIV. And I watched these 2 girls, Iliana and Mercedes, who, they're my daughters. They're not a cause. They're not a distant, non-profit focus. I watched my 2 daughters die because of the decisions that their parents made because they had no peace. Those 2 girls are with me and will be with me for the rest of my life. I often will cry when I think of them. Sometimes I'll finish a concert and just go and kind of close my eyes for a minute, and I feel as if they were watching that show with me. They will forever be with me. I never would have known them if fear was something that I ran away from. I could have left that trash dump and said, I will not go back in there, that place is not going to exist to me. But somehow, again, because of the feeling of God's hand over me and putting me in this place, I'm like, okay, I'll keep going. And so then my life intertwined with those 2 girls, and it was 5 years of bliss for me. And I so believed that we were going to see them healed physically, but losing both of them, I think truly is the greatest gift, because I saw them go from prostitutes and drug addicts to beautiful little princesses, beautiful little girls that believed that they were valued, that believed that they should be sung to, and that believed that they should also sing They got their youth back. All their addictions were broken off of them. I got to see the light come out of them. I got to see the wealth in them. I got to see the peace in them. They died in peace. And so in my heart, what if they had lived 80 years and they never knew peace? I praise the Lord that they are in a place where there is only peace. And I also am so thankful that I carry their story and that I get to share that with all of you. Peace isn't this idea, you guys, that you just go out and wave a banner. Peace is how you live because of how you feel in here. It doesn't matter if you're Ugandan, it doesn't matter if you're from Peru, it doesn't matter if you're from Antarctica, it doesn't matter if you're from Hartford. There's 4,500 known languages or something like that. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter how much education you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't know peace here, you can't contribute to peace out here. You'll just be going through the motions and it will not last. I go and spend time with two precious, beautiful little roses that are growing in a trash dump. And those two girls, God uses them to get me back to a place where I feel peace. And I pick this up again. And then I say, oh, now I get it. I have this gift to give away. Are they seen? Are they heard? 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 Yeah, na na na,
You're watching YouView Media.